weeks, questions have circled about Elisa Lam after the Vancouver woman went missing in Los Angeles last month.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most chilling unexplained events that occurred from 2010 to 2025. Given the sensitive nature of our list, viewer discretion is advised.
Could the plane have soared straight past where they are searching in the ocean, crashing on dry land, or even landing safely?
Number 10, Easter Sunday heist.
We are also following developing news involving a money mystery in the San Fernando Valley.
Authorities are trying to track down the thieves who stole tens of millions of dollars in cash from a business on Easter Sunday. KTLA 5's Karina Winter live in Sylmar with more on how all this went down.
It's not the fact that $30 million went missing. It's how it happened that'll keep you up at night. On Easter Sunday 2024, a crew of still unidentified thieves broke into a high-security cash storage facility in Sylmar, California, and pulled off what's now considered one of the largest cash heists in Los Angeles history.
It's unconfirmed, but this may have been the area those thieves actually walked through to get onto the property. It's a lot more remote here. It's actually right up next to a mobile home park. And take a look off into the distance. That's the hole that they entered through. A short time ago, we saw workers out here patching that spot.
The kicker? No alarms were triggered, no guards were harmed, and no trace was left behind. In the days leading up to the job, authorities had responded to a series of false alarms at the site, likely staged to dull their vigilance. Despite weeks of investigation, there have been no arrests, no leads, and no publicly named suspects. It's not just unsolved, it's clean. Too clean.
Preliminary investigation revealed that the suspects accessed the location through the roof of the building, but it's unclear how they accessed the vault itself inside the building, and there were no obvious signs of entry into the vault.
Now, if that's the case, it could suggest that the vault was either unlocked or that someone involved in the break-in had the know-how to open the vault.
Number 9, West Fertilizer Company explosion.
I want to show you a few headlines that are coming out this morning. This is from the Waco Tribune Herald. Fertilizer plant explosion there, rocks west. Injuries mount. Waco is 20 miles from West. West is a small town, and Waco, just as much as West right now, is really in the thick of it because this is where all the hospitals are.
In April 2013, a fire broke out at the West Fertilizer Company in Texas. Minutes later, a massive explosion obliterated the surrounding area, killing 15 people, mostly first responders, and injuring over 160. Investigators couldn't initially pin down the cause. 3 years later, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives changed course, announcing the fire had been intentionally set, but provided no suspects, no motive, and no clear evidence.
We are here today to announce the final ruling as to the cause of the fire. The fire has been ruled as incendiary. This means this fire was a criminal act.
To this day, it's still unclear whether this was a tragic accident or a calculated act of arson. And that lingering uncertainty, combined with the scale of the devastation, makes this case feel less like a closed file and more like a ticking time bomb that no one saw coming.
Reported by the Dallas Morning News, actually, is the fact that this fertilizer plant, which exploded, apparently had reported to the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, and to the local public safety officials that it presented, listen to this, no risk of fire or explosion. That's according to some of the documents that are available.
Number 8. Disappearance of Ben McDaniel.
When we look at the things that have killed cave divers in the past, or divers in caves, I should say, in the past, the number one leading cause of fatalities is lack of training, or going beyond someone's level of training and experience.
He entered the dark heart of an underwater cave and simply vanished. On August 18, 2010, 30-year-old Ben McDaniel dove into the Vortex Spring Cave system in Florida, a notoriously treacherous cavern sealed behind a gate that only certified cave divers may pass. Then, he never came back. What followed was a full-scale search, yet no trace of Ben was ever found. The theories that emerged only make it more haunting. Did he drown and get wedged beyond recovery? Was foul play involved? Or did he stage his own disappearance to escape a painful past? His family rejects that last theory, but with no body, no clues, and no closure, the question remains wide open.
Ben McDaniel wasn't a certified cave diver. Now, we don't know whether he died inside Vortex Spring or not, but we do know that he was in over his head.
Number 7. Ezra Miller's farm.
I claim my 9th Amendment rights to not be unlawfully persecuted for a crime of no designation, disorderly conduct being something I am unguilty of.
Police say Miller became agitated while patrons began singing, and they began to yell obscenities, grabbing the microphone out of a woman's hand and later lunging at a man playing darts.
A Hollywood star or a caretaker gone askew? In 2022, Rolling Stone reported that actor Ezra Miller housed a 25-year-old mother and her 3 young children, aged 1 to 5, on their sprawling Vermont farm. Inside, sources say, assault rifles, handguns, and loose bullets lay scattered, and most disturbingly of all, easily accessible to the children.
Separately, and later that spring, Miller was arrested for second-degree assault, refusing to leave a party when asked, throwing a chair and striking a woman on the head, according to police, who say that investigation is still active.
The mother called the farm a healing haven away from her abusive ex, but authorities were not convinced. Vermont's Department for Children and Families and state police tried and failed to serve an emergency order removing the kids. Miller claimed the family had left months earlier, a statement contradicted by the mother's social media posts. Was it a misguided rescue or something deeply suspect?
Actor Ezra Miller has pleaded guilty after being accused of breaking into a Vermont home and stealing alcohol last year. The Justice League star agreed to a $500 fine and probation conditions that'll include mental health treatment.
Number 6. Lars Mittanks final destination.
Wo ist Lars Mittank? Der mittlerweile 30-Jährige ist seit dem 8. Juli 2014 verschwunden. Seine Familie und Freunde haben die Suche nie aufgegeben. Besonders Mama Sandra kämpft jeden Tag darum, endlich eine Spur von ihrem Sohn zu bekommen.
Wir vermissen ihn sehr.
A vacation turned nightmare, captured in chilling security footage. In July 2014, 28-year-old German tourist Lars Mittank vanished without a trace from Varna Airport in Bulgaria. What began as a routine holiday spiraled into one of Europe's most perplexing disappearances.
Auf dem Weg vom McDonald's zum Hotel wurde er von mindestens zwei Leuten angegriffen und aufs Ohr geschlagen, wo er dann einen Trommelfellriss erlitt, der später bei einem Allgemeinarzt am Montag festgestellt wurde, worauf er dann Flugverbot erhielt und eine Einweisung ins Krankenhaus.
After a bar altercation led to a ruptured eardrum, Mittank's behavior became increasingly erratic. Despite no documented history of mental illness, he called his mother, whispering that people were trying to harm him and that she should cancel his credit cards.
In diesem Hotel hat er mich dann in der Nacht angerufen, hat mir die Situation erklärt und hat dann aber gesagt, dass er Verdacht hat, dass da irgendwas mit der Kreditkarte nicht in Ordnung war, dass sie irgendwas mit der Kreditkarte gemacht haben und ich sollte ihm seine Kreditkarte sperren.
Und auch die Behausung kam Lars nicht ganz koscher vor und er verließ in der Nacht noch das Hotel.
Surveillance footage shows him fleeing the airport in a panic, leaving behind his belongings and running into a nearby forest, his last known whereabouts. Despite extensive searches and numerous theories, Mittank remains missing. His fate an unsettling mystery.
Ich möchte mit diesem Video bezwecken, dass ganz, ganz viele Leute sich das zu Herzen nehmen, sich umschauen, mit offenen Augen, mit wachen Augen durch die Gegend laufen und vielleicht schauen, ob das mein Sohn sein könnte. Dass sich viele Leute dafür interessieren. Es könnte auch ja von Ihnen selber, wenn es der eigene Sohn oder jemand, einen geliebten Menschen wäre.
Number 5. Death of Elisa Lam.
She hasn't been heard from for a week, something her family says is unlike the UBC student. 21-year-old Elisa Lam never checked out of her LA hotel, and she was traveling alone. Today, the police called on the public for help. The CBC's Lindsay Duncombe has more from Los Angeles.
In February 2013, 21-year-old Canadian blogger Elisa Lam, a student at the University of British Columbia, was found in a rooftop water tank at Los Angeles' Cecil Hotel. Her disappearance was preceded by unsettling elevator footage showing her behaving strangely, raising questions about her state of mind.
This is what it looks like at the Cecil Hotel in LA. You can see officials surrounding a water tank. This morning, someone complained about the water pressure at the hotel. When a worker went to investigate, he found the body inside.
Despite extensive investigations, no signs of foul play were found, and her death was ruled an accidental drowning, attributed to Lam's bipolar disorder. However, what remains particularly eerie is the absence of her phone. It was never recovered, neither with her body nor among her belongings. The unexplained disappearance of the device adds a layer of mystery to an already tragic case.
The investigators have to be flummoxed at this because if it is foul play, why did she act so odd?
The last footage of her in the hotel elevator is perplexing. Why did she press all the buttons? Was she talking to someone? Was she trying to hide?
Number 4. What happened to the Jamisons?
Our first case is that of actually an entire missing family. This has baffled authorities in Oklahoma, where Madison Jamison was last seen nearly 4 months ago. She was with her parents on October 8th when they all left their home in Eufaula. No one has seen any of them since, but the truck they were driving was found 30 miles away 2 weeks later in a very rural area.
In 2014, the Oklahoma medical examiner positively identified the skeletal remains found the previous year as those of Bobby, Sherilyn, and their young daughter Madison Jamison, closing a chapter but opening a haunting mystery. Their story began in 2009 when the family vanished from their remote Oklahoma home. Days later, their abandoned truck was discovered, locked, miles away, with their dog inside, and their wallets, phones, and an unexplained $32,000 in cash left behind.
Do authorities believe that the family abandoned the car, though, intentionally?
No, that's part of what makes this whole event so puzzling. Obviously, they wouldn't have left the dog in the car if they had planned to be away from the car for very long, and they had also left a number of personal belongings in the car in plain view, which, since it's in such a remote area, there was no reason to be concerned about theft.
Security footage captured the parents packing their belongings in a trance-like state, adding a surreal edge to their disappearance. The eerie gaps in their timeline and the strange circumstances continue to baffle investigators, leading to outlandish theories that ranged from familial disputes to demonic possession.
It's been so hard being able to sleep at night.
For the last 4 years, Starlet Jamison has worried and wondered.
Bobby was one of these people that was always helping people.
Her son Bobby Jamison has been missing, along with his wife Sherilyn and their 6-year-old daughter, Madison.
Number 3. Barry and Honey Sherman's fate.
Both Honey and Barry Sherman were in fact targeted.
But targeted by whom? He had a long list of business enemies.
He said, "They're out to get me. I'm surprised they haven't knocked me off already."
In December 2017, billionaire pharmaceutical mogul Barry Sherman and his wife Honey were found dead in their Toronto mansion, posed side by side, fully clothed, with belts around their necks, near their indoor pool. What followed was a botched and baffling investigation. A later autopsy confirmed both were murdered. The couple's bodies showed signs of restraint, yet there were no signs of forced entry.
Former police investigator, now university professor Mike Arnfield, says it appeared to be a very angry yet disciplined crime.
It's a very up-close, intimate, domineering, rage-induced manner of killing someone.
Despite the family hiring private investigators and offering a multi-million-dollar reward, no suspects have been named. The case stands as an open wound in one of Canada's wealthiest families.
Their son Jonathan put into words what many saw as his parents' special partnership.
You were like a lock and a key, each pretty useless on your own. But together, you unlocked the whole world for yourselves, and for us, and for so many others.
Number 2. Flight MH370's whereabouts.
A Malaysia Airlines flight with 239 people on board, including 4 Americans, has gone missing. At this hour, a desperate search is underway for MH Flight 370, which departed Kuala Lumpur at 12:41 a.m. local time and was due to land in Beijing at 6:30 a.m.
A plane vanishes mid-flight. No mayday, no wreckage, no definitive answers. In March 2014, Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 took off from Kuala Lumpur with 239 people on board, then disappeared from radar less than an hour into its journey to Beijing. Satellite data later showed the aircraft veered wildly off course before vanishing over the Indian Ocean.
CBS News' Tony Aiello is here with the latest developments. Tony.
Mary, the United States and 12 other countries are aiding in this search, with 57 ships and 48 aircraft scouring Southeast Asia for any sign of the missing plane. CBS News has learned the disappearance of flight MH370 increasingly looks like a deliberate act.
Theories range from the tragic to the terrifying. Some believe the pilot deliberately crashed the plane. Others suggest hijacking, cyber interference, or even a cover-up involving military forces. The most accepted explanation? A controlled descent into the ocean, likely by someone in the cockpit. But with no black box, no full wreckage, and no closure, MH370 remains aviation's greatest and most unsettling mystery.
2 switches were pulled in that cockpit.
And you say were pulled. That suggests deliberate.
Deliberate.
What kind of deliberate acts?
Well,
Why?
maybe it was a hijacking.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into Settings and switch on your notifications. Number 1. Havana Syndrome.
The mysterious health scare that disrupted Vice President Harris's diplomatic trip to Southeast Asia. A possible case of Havana Syndrome hit the U.S. mission in Vietnam, keeping Harris from Hanoi for several hours.
Is it a covert weapon or a case of mass psychogenic illness? Since 2016, dozens of U.S. diplomats, intelligence officers, and government personnel have reported sudden symptoms like ear pain, dizziness, memory loss, and a strange sense of directional pressure. Theories exploded. Microwave radiation, sonic attacks, Russian surveillance tech, even insect-borne illnesses. In 2022, multiple U.S. intelligence agencies concluded it was very unlikely that a hostile actor was behind the symptoms.
But what or who is causing the symptoms is still unknown.
What's scary about the Havana syndrome is how little we know about it. The lingering effects are described as like a long-term concussion, so debilitating, and we aren't really sure about how long the effects last.
Whether it's a case of undiagnosed environmental exposure, psychological contagion, or something science hasn't caught up with yet, the lack of clarity has only deepened the sense of paranoia and unease. Real or not, the fear it's caused is undeniable.
Several U.S. diplomats are expressing frustration with the Biden administration's response to issues surrounding a mysterious illness known as Havana Syndrome.
They sent a letter to the State Department saying people who suffer from the sickness are simply not getting the care they need.
Which mystery on our list creeped you out the most? Be sure to let us know in the comments below.
If that plane was in fact traveling for hours from here, would some of the search be shifting in that direction, maybe even scouring the land? That, Diane, is a very big question.